Hey, what's happening, everybody? This is Lando Report from SportsAndBounce.com welcoming you to the new video edition of the Lando Report for January the 14th, 2013. Thank you so much for clicking on the video. And this is going to be the avenue for some new ideas that we're going to be looking at for SportsAndBounce.com this year in 2013. And being that we are more of a visual people, it makes more sense to go with the visual type representation of the Lando Report rather than text-based representation. And so that's what we're trying out, along with some new ideas that we're going to be trying out on YouTube this year. On this edition of the Lando Report, I'm going to debut something called the Six Mix. That means, you know how different organizations have their top 5 or they have their top 10. And what we're going to do is that we're going to take 6 things and we're going to then take those 6 things, whether they're reasons, whether they're bullet points or whatever, and we're going to put them to a topic. So the topic, and the topic that continues to go on all season long in the NBA, is that of the Los Angeles Lakers. What is wrong with this team? What has happened to this team? This was a team that back in 2009 and 2010 won back-to-back NBA championships. And in the few years since then, what has happened to the Los Angeles Lakers? That's what a lot of us would like to know. And so I'm going to break it down. So the Six Mix this week is going to be based on 6 reasons why the Los Angeles Lakers are in the position that they're in right now. The first reason why the Lakers are in the position they're in right now is because no preparation. That's right, Phil Jackson was not going to be coaching the Lakers forever. And even though he's been one of the best Laker coaches of all time, I mean, he's got 5 championships to tie him with Pat Riley. Pat Riley won 4 as the head coach, and then he won 1 as an assistant coach with Paul Westhead in 1980. But now, we have to deal with 2013. We're not dealing with 2009 and 2010 anymore. And the Lakers front office did not do the job that it needed to do to fully prepare for the retirement of Phil Jackson. Which leads me to reason number 2. There was no successor for Phil Jackson. Brian Shaw had been an assistant with the Lakers, and he was an assistant on the teams that won in 2009 and 2010, and even played with Kobe Bryant as a player during the Lakers three-peat from 2000 to 2002. He should have been the one that was the front runner to be the next Lakers coach. But instead, we now see Brian Shaw on the bench as an assistant coach for the Indiana Pacers. Mind you, the Indiana Pacers over the last couple of years have really been coming alive. And meanwhile, the Lakers have been sliding further and further into mediocrity, and now they're not even at 500. Brian Shaw would have been a good pick to be able to continue the fundamentals and the things and the foundation that Phil Jackson had set into the Laker organization, and he would have been the best fit because he gets along with Kobe Bryant, he knows Pau Gasol, he knows Metta World Peace, and he would have been able to welcome guys like Steve Nash and Dwight Howard into the fold. It would have taken a little bit of time for them to all gel together, but he would have been able to get them all together on the same page. So instead, which is reason number 3, the Lakers go with the hiring of Mike Brown. Not a bad choice, but not the right fit for the Los Angeles Lakers. Mike Brown is predominantly a defensive coach. The Lakers have always been known in all of their championship years and all of their success as an offensive team. From the Showtime fast break era involving Magic Johnson, even before that with Jerry West and Elgin Baylor, and then bringing Wilt Chamberlain into the fold at the end of the 1960s. The Lakers have always been known as an offensive powerhouse, and even under Phil Jackson, who was always touted for his defense, the Lakers had a great 1-2 punch in Kobe and Shaquille O'Neal, and then during the championship years, the back-to-back in 09 and 10, had Kobe Bryant, Pau Gasol, Metta World Peace, and a lot of other intangibles that cannot be replaced. So Mike Brown comes to the Lakers and in a shortened season tries to do the best that he can do. The Lakers make it to the Western Conference semifinals where they're defeated by the Oklahoma City Thunder. And then we go into this particular season where Mike Brown only lasted 5 games in the regular season before he was unceremoniously fired. That's right, fired 5 games into the regular season. And Mike Brown This is a guy who had taken the Cleveland Cavaliers once to the NBA Finals. He had taken them to the conference finals on a number of occasions. He's a good coach, but he just wasn't a good fit. But at the same time, the Lakers did not give Mike Brown a fair shake. He at least should have had about anywhere between 20 to 30 or 40 games to really see what he could do with this Princeton offense, to see if he could turn the Lakers around, who were 1-4 at the time that he was fired. Which brings me to point number 4. The Lakers have no patience. And this is a big problem, because after Mike Brown was fired, the Lakers were doing well under interim head coach Bernie Bickerstaff. Why not get the Lakers 20 to 30 games under Bickerstaff to see what he can do? And the Bickerstaff is showing good signs that he's got the team in a good flow. Let him finish the season. And then when the season is finished, see if he's the guy that you want to go with for the future. They had no rush. The Lakers were playing the best basketball they had played all season under Bernie Bickerstaff, but they were in such a rush to get a coach in there, and which leads me to my next reason. They had a chance to get Phil Jackson, and they didn't get him. Instead, the Lakers decided to go with Mike D'Antoni, who was unceremoniously exited from the New York Knicks. He had some great years in Phoenix, but when he went to New York, he was not able to replicate that same success. And so you're taking a guy who left unceremoniously, who left the team in worse shape, and then it took Mike Woodson to take some of the things that were left, put the pieces together, and look at how good the Knicks are now. But Mike D'Antoni was not having the Knicks in that state of success. And this is the guy that you feel is going to be the fit for the Lakers, because now you brought Steve Nash and Dwight Howard over to the team. And which brings me to my 6th reason. The Lakers do not know how to use their personnel. Pau Gasol should not be standing around the three-point line. He's one of the best post-up players in the league, and is actually a better post-up player than Dwight Howard. Why? Because Pau Gasol actually not only can play on the inside and get the little hook or dunk, but Dwight Howard only has those type of moves that are within 4 feet of the basket. Pau Gasol can shoot the ball. He's proved it time and time again. He can shoot that 10-footer. He can shoot that 15-footer. And so for Pau Gasol to be hanging around the three-point line, it shouldn't take a rocket scientist to know, change a little bit of those X's and O's and make that circle that's on the inside in the paint. That should be Pau, not Dwight. If you look at how Dwight was used in Orlando, his success came out of the pick and roll, in which he met the point guard somewhere around the three-point line or near the top of the key. That's where Dwight Howard is comfortable, not Pau Gasol. Now, if you look at the Lakers, they have some young players on the team, but they have a lot of older players as well. When you look at the older guys on the roster, you're talking about Kobe, you're talking about Gasol, you're talking about Antoine Jameson, and you're talking about Metta World Peace and others that are on that roster. To run like the Phoenix Suns did in 2006 and 2007 would not make sense for the Lakers, because they are an older crew. So what you have to do is that you have to be willing to adjust yourself to the roster that you have, and that's something that Mike D'Antoni hasn't done. I'm going to throw in a bonus reason for you. This is actually getting up to number 7 now. And the bonus reason why the Lakers are not doing well is that people actually, I believe, have really given Kobe Bryant too much credit as a leader. I'm not saying he's not a good leader or he can't be a good leader, but if you look at all the years that the Lakers won championships in which Kobe Bryant was on the team, who was on that team with them? Derek Fisher. When you read in the media what was going on behind the scenes with the Lakers, who was the guy that was able to bring the Lakers together? Derek Fisher. And while the Lakers were willing to let him go and bring in Ramon Sessions and then ultimately Steve Nash, because they wanted guys that can hang with guys like Russell Westbrook and Ty Lawson, the fact of the matter is that out of Derek Fisher, Steve Nash, and Ramon Sessions, Derek Fisher actually brings more to the table than all of them because of his leadership ability on the court, which then can get people to play at an even higher level. Thank you so much for tuning in to this edition of the Lando Report, the 6 Mix. Be sure to tune in to the SportsAndBounce.com show on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Blog Talk Radio, and visit us at www.sportsandbounce.com.